Okay, I was down on the ground for about 30 seconds, and the shot, I can't even tell you, the shots were so loud, and they felt like they were right over me, and they wouldn't stop. And even though I was laying on the
That is Brian Claypool, a survivor, and he explains the sheer terror Sunday night at that music festival. You saw him with me yesterday morning as he ran from the scene. Now hear from him and his thoughts today.
Also coming up, how to help, the community banding together to care for those who were injured and the families who lost loved ones. How you can donate coming up.
Also looking for comfort, people gathering all around the valley to pay respects to those victims and also just be together. You're going to hear from a nurse from UMC who was working countless hours to save lives.
Live from Las Vegas, this is News 3 Today.
Good morning. It is 4:30 on this Tuesday morning, October 3rd. And as we welcome everyone into the broadcast, we just welcome the entire world to Las Vegas and all of the well wishes for what we have been through as a community and what we're going to continue to go through moving forward.
The city has changed. I mean, we were out and about yesterday, and that's all anybody could talk about yesterday. We're going to bounce back from this. We know that. But right now, this is a city in mourning. This is a city that is hurting deeply.
I loved when Denise Rosh, our reporter here at the station, showed up around noontime out of the location I was at, just south of Mandalay Bay, and there was a guy with a poster that had Vegas proud. And I thought, see, we're going to all be able to come together here.
So we're going to talk about some of the victims this morning, some of the people that died there. In one instance, one man died trying to protect his newlywed wife.
And so Heather Mills is going to focus on the victims of this tragedy, and we're also going to take you inside the developing investigation. But right now, we're the Wagners, Kim and Dana, and we are so pleased to be with you on this Tuesday morning.
Right now, let's check in with Kelly Curran, get a quick forecast check here on this Tuesday. So, Kelly, what do you got for us?
Well, we're looking at more sunshine across the area today. Winds not as strong this morning, but they will pick up later this afternoon. Here's your day planner. You're heading out the door. It is a little bit cool. Grab a jacket, grab a sweater. 63 at 9 a.m. The highs today in the mid 80s, but again, expecting some breezy conditions. We'll have more coming up.
Okay, Kelly, thank you. It's officially been more than 24 hours since a man bent on killing as many strangers as possible opened fire on that concert from a sniper position 32 floors above. As our community comes together to respond to this unthinkable attack, we are keeping you updated on the latest in the investigation. So we have team coverage this morning. News 3's Kendall Nunley joins us live from Metro headquarters for the latest on the investigation.
Good morning, Dana. Yeah, our job here is to definitely be your connection from here, that investigation from Metro Police, who are working with the FBI, trying to find exactly a motive as to why this had to happen on Sunday night here in Las Vegas. That is a huge question that we currently do not have the answer for. Why did this happen? The motive behind exactly what happened out there. Now, the department last updated us here at Metro headquarters last night after the FBI, those agents were seen scouring through the hotel room on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay, where that gunman, Stephen Craig Paddock, opened fire on a crowd of concert goers on the Las Vegas Strip. Now, when it comes to at least that investigation, we do know that
we have recovered 23 firearms at Mandalay Bay and 19 firearms at his home in Mesquite. I want to emphasize we believe Paddock is solely responsible for this heinous act.
Now, when it comes to this investigation, it is still active, not only here with Metro headquarters as detectives work around the clock, but also over the Las Vegas Strip and also those homes here in Nevada when it comes to that shooter. We do not have a current time of when they will update us next, but they did say that they will do it sometime today. We will keep you posted and we'll take you here live as soon as that presser starts here with Metro Police as another update, and hopefully we can find a motive as to why this happened here on Sunday night in Las Vegas. For now, they're reporting live from Metro headquarters, Kendall Nunley, News 3.
Kendall, thank you. And in addition to the resources of News 3, we also have the partnership of NBC News and our tremendous sources from reporting in this community for almost 20 years. So if something breaks, you're going to hear it first right here on News 3. And when we focus on the shooting, the one thing that I like to focus on, and maybe you too, is the tremendous amount of giving. When I saw video for people waiting 8 hours in line to donate blood, I knew that Las Vegas was the hometown for me. Our Faith Jesse all over the developments as far as how so many locals and beyond are giving back.
Good morning, Kim. You know, Monday's events, or Sunday's events rather, were very tragic. Yesterday we dealt with a lot of the chaos over at the hospitals, and one of the things that the hospitals were telling us that they needed was blood, and we saw a tremendous turnout, like you were talking about, at all of those blood banks. Where we are now is the convention center. It's a little quiet right now, but I wanted to show you all right over here. There's a sign, if you guys are coming out here later today, directing you to the South Hall. That's going to be the donation center, the Family Victims Center. So this is where you all can go if you are affected by this event and you need help, or if you're looking for a way to help out. They're going to need water, they're going to need food, clothes, blankets for people who are stuck here in Las Vegas that were traveling for this concert. And that is what they're going to need. Like I said, it's a little quiet right now because it's still very early in the morning. We're working right now to gather more details on what exactly you all can bring, what exactly they need, and where families can go. The doors right now in the South Hall are still locked, but like I said, we're working with security right now to get those details for you all. When we get them, we'll make sure to bring them to you. I'm Faith Jesse reporting, News 3.
Okay, Faith, thank you very much for that. We're getting a closer look at the victims who lost their lives in that shooting. Among those killed, a newlywed protecting his wife, a special education teacher, a single mom, police officers, so many more. Sonny Melton, for instance, died protecting his wife, Heather. He grabbed her and started running. That's when he was shot in the back. Quentin Robbins, a student at UNLV, coached his little brother's flag football team in his spare time. His cousin Bryce joined the people who lined up to donate blood Monday.
I love Quentin. He was a very popular kid around school and around town.
And at least 2 people out of Manhattan Beach in California died in this massacre. Several police officers among the victims, including Las Vegas Metro officer Charleston Hartfield. One witness said off-duty officers in the crowd were injured when they acted as human shields. These were just a few of the lives lost, and we're going to have more on the victims throughout the morning.
We also have a new hotline number dedicated to reconnecting friends and family members with those victims. It's on your screen right now, and they really want this to be for out-of-towners, if at all possible. They're saying if you are a local, if you're here in town, they would rather you go in person to the Family Resource Center if you have any questions about your loved one. It is 1-800-536-9488. That is the new number they want you to dial. And in the hours after the attack, Clark County Commissioner Steve Sisolak set up a GoFundMe account, and it's to raise money for all of those victims and families. And boy, did the word get out quick, and did the generosity pour in. This fundraiser passing the initial goal of it was supposed to just be a few $100,000. Now we're well past $2 million, and we're headed toward $3 million. The current total, more than $2.9 million at 4:37 in the morning, and there's still time to donate. We have a link for you at news3lv.com. And whenever we're not talking about this mass tragedy on air, we are certainly covering it on our social media accounts and our website, news3lv.com. Right now at 4:37, a live look at Mandalay Bay, which was the site of such terror just across the street, that man shooting from the building that we're looking at right now, but also so many acts of heroism that we're going to pay tribute to those people to this morning.
And that shooting is once again creating concern about safety in the Las Vegas Strip, especially during big events. Find out what may happen as a result of that shooting.
And then we're hearing from gun violence victims of the past who still have a mark in what's going on today. That's Gabby Giffords and her husband, and they're quite vocal about the tragedy yesterday, and you're going to hear from them ahead. It is now 4:40, and it didn't take long for our country and the world, for that matter, to pay respects. This is an iconic building, and it went dark, and you saw that people are lighting candles in memoriam as well. This is New York City's Empire State Building going dark last night, as did the Space Needle in Seattle, and look what they did in Paris with the Eiffel Tower, all showing us here in Las Vegas that they feel our pain. And it's just when you see that the entire world is paying attention to our hometown, it definitely gives you a warmth during such a difficult time.
So as we mourn the loss of those killed in Sunday's shooting, many saying it painfully shows that more needs to be done to protect tourists and locals on the Las Vegas Strip. We've also seen how the community comes together after this tragedy, with people lining up around the block outside of blood banks. Those who helped the victims in the parking lot Sunday night, and the doctors and nurses who worked tirelessly to save lives. We also met tourists who were shell-shocked. One woman we spoke to says this tragedy won't keep her away from Las Vegas.
It doesn't make you think twice. It won't make you think twice about coming here again?
Never. It'll never make me think twice about that. This could happen anywhere. You can't be scared to live.
Expect resorts and Metro to take a hard look at how to protect people. One thing many people have talked about, doing more to screen guests in their hotels.
And I love, Dana, when you were sharing the tweets from superstars in the sports world who call Las Vegas home, and we heard some of those last night, but we also saw this during Monday Night Football. Look at that. It just gives you goosebumps. So proud to be an American. But this almost didn't happen, and we have the explanation behind it headed your way.
And we're going to take a look at some vigils that happened in town and hear from a nurse who helped save lives.
The live event industry tries to figure out what is next after the shootings, and gun stocks rally. I'm Jane King. I'll have those stories coming up.
And at 4:44, we have live pictures of the Mandalay Bay on your screen. They were supposed to hold Fan Fest tonight for the Vegas Golden Knights. However, they have canceled the inaugural Fan Fest scheduled for tonight. The event was previously scheduled to take place from 6 to 8 p.m. tonight outside of the D. And as the investigation continues, the community coming together to pray and grieve. One group gathered at Grace Presbyterian Church and walked to UMC to lend support to the people there. We met an ER nurse just getting off of her shift who said this was the worst she's ever seen in her 20-year career. Brenda Sanchez telling us that she saw people die from their injuries, but she found comfort in prayer and in the humanity that she saw.
There was one man in particular who put his hand on his wife's head, and he got his hand shot, but he blocked the shot that would have gone to his wife's head. That touched my heart.
Sanchez saying that UMC getting a lot of phone calls from people desperate to find their loved ones. People also gathered at UNLV, students, faculty, and staff coming together to support each other and the community.
Just like we'll never forget yesterday here in Las Vegas, we're never going to forget when Gabby Giffords was shot in Arizona. We were all glued to the screen watching her every move, and now we're hearing from the former Congresswoman and her husband. They have set up a foundation to fight gun violence. Here she is with Mark Kelly, her husband, encouraging lawmakers to fight for sensible gun control while standing outside the Capitol this time, but they have taken their message on the road. They say that mass shootings cannot be the status quo in the United States of America. Giffords is one of over a dozen people shot during a constituent event in Tucson in the year 2011. At that time, 6 died, the shooter serving a life sentence today. And the two spoke about what just happened, the tragedy here in Las Vegas.
The nation's counting on you.
I'm a gun owner. Gabby's a gun owner. I'm a supporter of the Second Amendment. I served our nation for 25 years in the United States Navy. I flew in combat defending our Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Second Amendment is important here in this country. However, we can respect the Second Amendment and the rights of responsible gun owners, and at the same time, we can keep guns out of the hands of criminals, domestic abusers, potential mass shooters, and idiots.
He said it's the weapons of war that need to be off the streets, the ones that were found in that suite at Mandalay Bay, 23 of them in total. Giffords and Kelly founded Americans for Responsible Solutions, a political action committee that calls for stricter gun regulations, and this was after her shooting.
So on Monday Night Football, they honored the victims of the Las Vegas tragedy. Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Washington Redskins at Arrowhead Stadium on Monday Night Football with the flags at half-staff last night. They also held a moment of silence before the game last night, people taking off their hats, honoring our country and the victims here in Las Vegas at the same time.
And as we remember those lives lost, we have the next 2 hours to do so. We also have to do the business of finding out what the forecast is for the day, and that's where Kelly comes in.
Yeah, we still have to get out the door, and a lot of us heading to work and school this morning. Here's a look at what we saw across the area yesterday. Blue skies all day long. A little bit of a breeze there early in the morning, but that did diminish as we got later into the afternoon. Now, as far as the current conditions, well, the winds are light for now. Temperatures a little bit on the cool side, though. Summerlin 58 degrees, downtown you're at 59. Henderson also coming in at 59. Like I said, the wind's light for now, but we are actually going to see those picking up. And we do have a little bit of some activity far up into the north, some snow in parts of Montana, but here at home, more sunshine today. Again, gusty winds expected later in the afternoon. The high today, 85 degrees. Those winds 25 to 30 miles per hour in the afternoon. Overnight tonight, breezy conditions in the evening, otherwise clear skies, 59 degrees for that low. Now our 7-day forecast, 83 tomorrow. So a little bit of a dip in the temperatures before we start warming back up with highs in the 90s expected by the weekend.
It is now 4:49, and not just our country standing in solidarity, but also the world. You're looking at the City Hall in Tel Aviv, Israel, all lit up in the colors of the American flag, showing support and solidarity for the deadliest mass shooting in modern American history. People also voicing their support for the United States and Las Vegas.
For the American people in Las Vegas, we feel very sorry for you and for your loss. We think that it's very terrible, and we support you here from Israel.
And you can see over his shoulder as he was doing that interview, the flag would go from our flag to the Israeli flag and then back to our flag, showing that we are all one. Well, speaking of that, one of the locals injured in that shooting was Nick Rabone, an assistant coach for UNLV's hockey team, and he is currently recovering in ICU from a gunshot wound to the chest.
A lot of locals know this man, and they were just hit in the heart when they found out that he was injured in that shooting. Amber Dixon reports.
It took my breath away this morning.
Bob De La Roca is general manager of Las Vegas Eye Center and a friend of Nick Rabone, the assistant coach for UNLV's hockey team, accustomed to hearing these shots. Fell victim to these gunshots at the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival Sunday. On its Twitter page, the UNLV hockey team wrote in part Monday that Raboni is out of surgery to remove a bullet from a gunshot wound to his chest. The bullet missed his lung, though it is bruised badly. He's in the ICU and will remain in the hospital for the near future. He is expected to make a full recovery.
He's going to make it. It's just, I don't really know what to say.
Mike McDaniel is a goalie for UNLV's hockey team and tried visiting Raboni in the hospital. The aftermath of Sunday's mass shooting, which he witnessed there, McDaniel was not prepared for.
I'll never forget this day, especially after going to the hospital and seeing those victims and what they're going through right now. It's just, there's not very many words to say, but kind of just makes you mad.
And I want to make a correction. Last name is Raboni. I hadn't heard it until Amber's report, but I know I'd read so much on social media about how people were supporting our local guy. And we know the President of the United States is going to be here tomorrow in Las Vegas, but before he gets here, he's going to Puerto Rico, and that's today. So he is going to head there to look at all of the damage from the hurricane. Yet to be found out if he's going to meet with the mayor of San Juan, since they've had sort of a feud on social media as of late. But we do know the President and First Lady will be in San Juan. We also know he's expected to be in our city by tomorrow, meeting with survivors and also family members of those who lost so dear.
Tom Petty, who started making music history in the 1970s, has passed away at the age of 66.
She was an American girl.
You just know so many of his songs. Petty died after suffering a heart attack at his home in Malibu. He climbed the pop charts with his band, The Heartbreakers, bringing us songs like American Girl and I Won't Back Down. Tom Petty was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 15 years ago.
At 4:52, in other news that's been dominating headlines as of late is that massive Equifax security breach. It's affected even more consumers than originally thought, and we thought that half of adult Americans would be consumed by this. It's even worse now. The credit monitoring company announcing just yesterday that an additional 2.5 million Americans may have been impacted. That brings the total to more than 145 million people, and this was disclosed initially on September 7th. The announcement coming after a portion of the investigation was completed by an outside security firm. It also concluded that there is no evidence the attackers access databases located outside the United States.
Meanwhile, the former chairman and CEO of Equifax will testify before Congress today about that data breach. His name is Richard Smith, expected to go before lawmakers. Lawmakers expected to question him on why it took Equifax several months to notify consumers.
At 4:53, our live team coverage of this tragedy here in Las Vegas continues this morning. We take you inside the developing investigation. We also pay tribute to those lives lost.
Good morning. Coming up on a special split edition of Today, we are live here in Las Vegas with the very latest on the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. This morning, new information on the gunman, the raids on his multiple homes, and the search this morning for a possible motive.
Also ahead, new questions about the weapons he used in that attack. Were the assault rifles modified to make them even more deadly?
We'll have that and the stories of heroism now emerging as we learn more about the victims when we get started on a Tuesday morning here on Today.
And at 4:55, a quick recap of the latest on that deadly shooting. Metro saying that 59 people died in the attack. Another 527 were injured. Authorities believe this man, Stephen Paddock, acted alone. Police raided his home in Mesquite. They found another 19 firearms in addition to the 23 found in his hotel room at Mandalay Bay. Metro says they have enough blood donations for now, but the greatest need is for food and water. You can find more information on our website at news3lv.com.
And Metro has this new hotline number that we want to make sure that you're aware of. It's on your screen right now, 1-800-536-9488. And they really would like for the focus to be on out-of-towners to use that number. If you happen to be local, they'd actually like for you to go down in person to the Family Resource Center.
And in the hours after the attack, Clark County Commissioner, the Commission Chair, Steve Sisolak, setting up a GoFundMe page, and now they are very close to raising $3 million current total and more than $2.9 million. You can donate. You can find a link at news3lv.com.
But right now, let's focus on the forecast and check in with Kelly.
Thanks, guys. And temperatures outside right now still pretty cool. So Pahrump here at 53 degrees, Boulder City 59, a sweater, a light jacket as you're heading out the door. The winds not an issue right now, but they will be. We're expecting those winds to continue to increase. In fact, 8 to 18 miles per hour. By the time we get later on into the afternoon and into the evening hours with even stronger gusts, we're going to talk more about that and what to expect for the rest of the week coming up.
And coming up, late night host paying tribute to the victims of the shooting here in Las Vegas. New at 5 and 6 this morning, here with Jimmy Fallon and former UNLV graduate Jimmy Kimmel had to say. We're going to keep you up to date on the investigation and how you can help the victims here in Las Vegas as well.
I went down and immediately just saw blood everywhere. Everything was kind of numb.
This morning, we are sharing stories of survival. The victims talk about the barrage of bullets. Plus, the shooter's brother is speaking out again.
It's just like an asteroid fell out of the sky. There was nothing that would say he would do this kind of thing.
Also coming up, an outpouring of support. People from all over the valley doing what they could to support. Where and how you can help those affected by this great tragedy.
Gunstock's rally on the shooting. I'm Jane King. I'll have that story coming up.
And we're also checking out the forecast this morning as we take a live look out of Mandalay Bay. So welcome into the program, and we also welcome the world. We know that they're doing a split edition of the Today Show this morning. Savannah Guthrie reporting live from Las Vegas, and Matt Lauer back in New York. And when I was out at the southern end, when I was at Sunset and the Boulevard yesterday, I heard reporters speaking Japanese. I heard them speaking Indian. The entire media conglomerate of the globe was all right there, and a lot of them came to town because of OJ and then transitioned into reporting on this.
And Las Vegas, the center of the news world, and for all the wrong reasons.
Absolutely.
Today.
But we have live team coverage of just tremendous survival stories headed your way throughout the broadcast.
All right, traffic and weather as well, every 10 minutes on the program. Tom Holly says there is a big-time mess. Hi, Terry.
Yeah.
There's a big-time mess on Interstate 15, the busiest stretch of freeway in our state. But right now, let's check out the forecast from Kelly Curran.
Well, thanks, guys. And we are looking at more sunshine across the area today. Temperatures cool this morning. Winds not as strong, but they're going to be picking up this afternoon. 63 degrees at 9 a.m. By 4 o'clock, we're looking at 84, but winds gusting 25 to 30 miles per hour. I'll let you know how long the winds will last this time coming up.
All right, that accident that we were talking about is here on I-15. It's in the southbound lanes, and this is blocking off, it looks like, at least 2 lanes, putting the squeeze on a 3rd lane. It's about halfway between Charleston and Sahara. We'll go ahead and map it out for you. So that's where you see the red traffic flow indicator just past Charleston. Then it eases up once you get past the accident and clears up past that. No word yet on how long that's going to be there. We'll certainly keep an eye on it as the morning continues when you check travel times.